There was levels and layers of cheese.
You just jumped the shark, talking about jumping the shark.
Ooh, oh, he's going to do it.
Do we want to get into Jamie and the Midi-chlorians?
I kind of didn't want his dad to catch him at the end of the movie.
I'm not up on my Ford Taurus trims, but...
That's all I'm going to contribute.
This is just going deeper down the cul-de-sac.
Sinbad's going postal in this one.
Yeah, Zangief with the nail bat.
It's cringeworthy how, like, over the top all that shit is.
Gleaming the turd with razor scooters.
Oh, rad.
Broadcasting live from inside the power band, this is The Blah. In this episode, everybody dies. I'm your host, Kevin, along with my friends, Ben.
Hey.
And Chad.
What's up?
Sup?
Sup?
Folks, this week on the podcast, we've got a very special holiday treat for you. It's Turbo Time. That's right, we're going to be talking about the film Jingle All the Way. And as a bonus, we're also going to be discussing the late 80s classic Christmas Vacation. So strap in, hold on, get your eggnog and your mistletoe ready, because here we go. So, gentlemen, where shall we fly to first? Do we want to talk, do we want to get into Jamie and the Midi-chlorians, Ben? Or
Bound to happen.
Should we get into do the Griswolds first?
I'm inclined to get Christmas Vacation out of the way first, personally. And I don't know, I don't have a ton to say about it, personally. It's never been one of my favorite Christmas movies, or it's not even out of the vacation movies. It's not there for me, so.
Really? I kind of felt the opposite way. I prefer Vacation over Jingle All the Way for sure.
It's interesting. I don't know if it's like a Arnold thing or what, because Ben and I have a very deep love for Arnold. It goes back many, many years. But I echo Jarhigo's sentiment. Of the vacation movies, I think back in the day when they got to Christmas Vacation, I was starting to roll my eyes and be like, all right, so it's going to be two new kids, and what's this one going to be about, and all that. And I think when I originally watched it, I didn't care for it, and certainly didn't appreciate the breadth of really great comedic actors that are in this film. But yeah, I didn't really dig it back in the day, and it definitely wasn't until later that I began to appreciate it a little bit more. So
yeah, I could see that. I kind of feel like it fits a nice little niche prior to a lot of the more modern Christmas movie comedies, but like it was certainly one of the better examples of a Christmas comedy. I suppose like A Christmas Story is kind of a comedy.
Yeah, A Christmas Story is a comedy, and this is a comedy, and I love that it's become a beloved Christmas film like A Christmas Story. And I think Jingle All the Way has become that as well, and I really dig that in particular.
Yeah, right on. Well, that's Christmas Vacation, everybody. So Jingle All the Way.
That's funny. I on this last watching of it, I kind of warmed up to the film. I want to say right where you left off watching, Kev, like right after the where Clark gets stuck in the attic. When he first gets the lights rolling, and Randy Quaid finally shows up in the film, and I really feel like the supporting cast in this movie saved it. 'Cause I feel much like Nothing But Trouble, Chevy was kind of phoning this one in. Do you guys get that?
I could see that.
Yes. I would say phoning it, but less so than Nothing But Trouble. I think Nothing But Trouble was the absolute pinnacle of an actor phoning something in. It was really rough.
Yeah, not quite that bad, but still, it just seemed to me like Chevy's heart wasn't quite in it.
Yeah, it's interesting that you say that. There's a little IMDb nugget that I came across a minute ago that kind of jives with what you're saying, where it was saying that Chris Columbus was the original director of the movie, and he like shot some of the stuff and says there's some of his footage in the finished film, but he left after meeting with Chevy twice. And he evidently told the writer and producer John Hughes, "There's no way I can do this movie. I know I need to work, but I can't do it with this guy." So
wow.
He was clearly being Chevy the asshole, evidently, in this one too. So I think your sixth sense is onto something there, Benny.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that sort of stuff comes through. It comes through in the cut of the film. It's like you kind of can see it, like the phoning it, obviously, and then the sort of douchiness. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe it's that we already know that, so who knows?
Yeah, looking back at it. Overall, I kind of found these movies really interesting to watch nowadays with all the woke bullshit that's going on that, I tend to subscribe to, but it's very prevalent where like the movies are basically like alpha male saves the day versus beta male saves the day, like it's really interesting to pair the movies together because you've got, Arnie as the successful businessman who's just fucking up his marriage and child left, right, and center and saves the day with jetpacks. And then you've got Griswold, who's kind of the schmuck who just gets browbeaten by his boss and is kind of a up, So it's just kind of interesting to compare the two.
Yeah, totally. No, you're right about that. I mean, that's the great thing about Vacation, I think, is it's beta, beta triumphs, beta saves the day.
Yeah, through an awkward kidnapping.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I like that. It's funny, like I didn't realize I didn't recall when I started watching these two films how totally slapsticky they are. Like Chevy was always famous for slapstick, and he's great at it. I mean, you can't take that away from him. But Jingle really, too, had a lot of slapstick nonsense. And this is what I did not remember about Jingle, is that it's really cheesy, too. And I really liked that also.
I kind of like that you didn't remember that it's cheesy.
No. Let me correct myself.
Okay.
Like I remembered it being cheesy. I mean, it was like just a goofy Arnold Christmas movie, right? But like there was levels and layers of cheese that I forgot about, I guess is what I'm saying. Like I remember, like I almost said this out loud. I was like, this is really cheesy, man. Like these effects are really cheesy, or like this part is really cheesy. It was just dopey. Some of the dialogue too, my God.
They kind of just don't make them like that like either of these movies anymore. So
no,
that's probably why it might have caught you by surprise or something.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know. I was really just vibing with Christmas Vacation more.
Why is that, Chad? Let's hear about that.
I don't know. I think, Benny, what you were saying, now that I'm thinking about it, makes a lot of sense, where the supporting cast really held the whole thing up. Whereas there wasn't a huge supporting cast in Jingle, so it was kind of like left to Sinbad and Arnie and Phil Hartman to kind of carry the main thrusts of the plot. I kind of love the subplots of Vacation, like you said, the cousin coming in with the Winnebago and the old aunt and uncle that come and like, the cat lights on fire and everything's on fire all the time, and then you've got Elaine from Seinfeld and her dead boyfriend next door. It was just, I don't know, it got me in the Christmas mood, I guess.
No, I definitely echo that sentiment that Christmas Vacation has, like I said, just a breadth of really great comedic actors. Like, I didn't know who Julia Louis-Dreyfus was. Well, that's actually not true, because I remember when she was on Saturday Night Live, and
I never knew that, or I never recalled her there, so.
Yeah, and she was on when James Belushi was on, and that was, funnily enough, that was the cast I grew up with, was the James Belushi, her, Chris Guest, Harry Shearer, like those guys were those couple of seasons, and it literally was just a couple of seasons, like 84 through 86, that was the cast, and it was probably, like, to the public at large, one of the most unloved casts of SNL, but I'm a Chris Guest acolyte. Him and Harry Shearer and Michael McKean, I think they're brilliant. Spinal Tap is brilliant. Everything they've done is brilliant. Waiting for Guffman, all those movies are great.
Oh, yeah.
So I remember Julia from then, but it's funny, it never jumped out at me, that she was in this movie. And then, of course, being a huge Seinfeld fan, of course, she's just incredible, and Veep is really good too. She's just a great comedic actress. So, her plus Grandma Lily from Grandma's Boy is in it. And I'm almost positive that one of the dads was the original Frank Costanza on Seinfeld.
Oh, whoa.
Because Jerry Stiller did not start off playing Frank Costanza. There was a different actor playing him. And then in season 3, I think it was, or 4, they got Jerry Stiller to do it. So I'm not 100% sure about that. Hang on.
I kind of want to believe it even if you're wrong.
Just like Santa Claus.
I know, me too. Okay, I just found another really juicy nugget about this movie.
John Randolph.
And there's my death.
What did you say?
Folks, we are moments into the podcast and Jarhigo has perished.
You guys were talking about I want to believe it even if it's not true, and I was like, just like Santa Claus.
Just like Santa Claus. That's good. Jimmy Google was talking to me at the same time, so I wasn't really paying attention.
Dan, Jimmy Google is just a...
Dude, he knifed you in the back, man.
Just the conversation up every time.
Yes, you are correct. You are correct, Kev. Jimmy Google can confirm that you were correct.
Exactly right. So Clark's father was the original Frank Costanza. And now here's another nugget I didn't even realize until after I said it. The guy that plays Todd is Nicholas Guest, who is Chris's brother.
There you go.
Whoa.
Nuggets all the way down.
Are we getting meta here?
You had more to say about Christmas Vacation than you thought you did.
Yeah, I kind of had a feeling this was going to happen. Well, I mean, talking about the cast, of course, you got Brian Doyle Murray as the boss. And, you know, for all of Bill Murray's fame and great roles and all of that, like Brian Doyle Murray, his brother, has done about a zillion movies. And he's done so many bit parts in so many movies and so many great ones, too. And this is definitely one of them.
I had no idea that was his brother. That's amazing.
Yeah, and he was in Nothing But Trouble as well at the end.
It's all ties together. This is the master plan the whole time.
This is it. They're all homies, dude.
This whole podcast is actually about Brian Doyle Murray.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa. That is heavy.
Every single one.
6 degrees of Kevin Bacon.
6 degrees of Brian Doyle Murray.
That's it.
Hang on. I'm just going to step away for 1 sec. I got to get a towel.
Why would you need a towel? Hitchhiker's Guide, I guess.
Hitchhiker's Guide, yeah, exactly.
Hey.
Because every hoopy fruit knows where his towel is, man.
Goddamn right.
So, Brian Doyle Murray, again, a great character actor. He's played so many small parts, and he really brings a lot of levity, like the rest of this cast, to this film. And, you know, of course, Randy Quaid, and then we've got the young Juliette Lewis in this. So I was really circling back to what Ben had said before, that, and what Chad echoed, that the supporting cast really buoys this film up.
It kind of reminded, like, some of the scenes with everybody all around in the house, you know, like when the squirrel's loose and running around and everyone's lighting everything on fire. And, like, it reminded me a lot of the mayhem of the opening of Home Alone, you know, like it kind of has a similar vibe to that, like, show family kind of thing.
Another Christmas movie.
Yes.
Which I didn't mention before, but that's the when Chris Columbus couldn't deal with Chevy, the next movie he did was Home Alone. He was given the script to that, so he made a good choice.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And I think why I didn't really dig this movie when it came out was that when I was younger, I had a problem adjusting to different actors taking on a role that was played by another actor previously. So I was a huge Anthony Michael Hall fan when I was a kid. And, you know, after seeing The Breakfast Club and The Original Vacation, when they swapped him out for other actors, I wasn't into it at all. And funnily enough, John Galecki plays Russ in this movie, and he has been in 2 major league sitcoms in his career. The first being Roseanne. Obviously, the original Roseanne was great and ran forever. And then also The Big Bang Theory, which I wasn't a fan of. I didn't really watch it, but it was a wildly popular show, and I know a lot of people loved it.
Yeah, I never really watched it either, but I definitely remembered him from Roseanne.
Yeah, I watched Big Bang, but it was, I thought it was good at first, but it kind of jumped the shark.
Jumped the shark indeed.
It did. There's just no other way to say it.
Speaking of jumping the shark, man, putting the show notes together for Nothing But Trouble, I think it was. I don't remember, but I had to put the Jump the Shark clip on, and I watched the Jump the Shark original clip from Happy Days, and me, they jumped the shit out of that shark. It was like 7 minutes long. He just jumped the thing already. Holy crap.
Oh, God. That's great.
Wait, the original clip was, remind me?
It's Happy Days. It's like the term Jump the Shark was coined after Happy Days, an episode where the Fonz water ski jumps over a shark while like an audience watches an oohs and ahs. And so like I knew that, and I probably had seen a clip at some point, but then then YouTube happened and the actual full scene is there. And it's like 6 minutes of cutting to a stunt guy who's like a microscopic stunt guy, and then cuts to everyone going, ooh, oh, he's going to do it. Ooh, oh no. For like 6 minutes, and then he just jumps. It's anyways.
Yeah, no, that's
I'm dead. I'm officially dying to change the topic.
Oh my God! Wow, that you know what that is, Chad. That's like a suicide. We've never had that on the show.
You just jumped the shark.
I just
jumping the shark
on the shark.
I was gonna say that, Ben.
Oh,
it was like he died having our podcast jump the shark. How do you feel about that?
I just button hooked the shark.
Good times.
Oh God.
I got a nugget for you. I got a random off-topic nugget.
Go.
The house that Julia Louis-Dreyfus and Todd live in is the Murtaugh's family house from the Lethal Weapon movies. It's on the same lot.
Are you serious?
Really? Yeah. I stumbled on that one on IMDb, and I was like, yeah, that's a nugget right there.
That is a really good nugget.
Wow, I kind of want to watch it again now just to see.
I can't wait until we one day talk about the Lethal Weapon series, just so we can talk about the Murtaugh on the toilet for half of Lethal Weapon 2.
Totally. Exactly. Riggs and Murtaugh, man. That's a nice nugget. I'm going to use that as a segue. I love how like ultra modern 80s chic Todd and Julia's house was.
Totally.
In Christmas Vacation. It was just ridiculous with the round mirror, you know. It's like, oh my God. Super 80s cheese. Gotta love it.
Yeah, it was so cheesed. And they had like the matching chrome running suits that they go out jogging in. God, it's just so perfect.
Totally. They were kind of like, even though the film takes place in the Chicagoland area, they have like a very, 80s chic New York vibe going on that I really like. And then yet they're stuck in the suburbs in Chicago. Like, if you're so cool, why aren't you living in the city? I always loved that about those two characters.
They live next to the Griswolds, and they're so mad about it.
And they're always like hoping that he's going to like break his neck and die when he's doing something stupid, and he never does. It must be the most frustrating thing in the world.
Yeah.
Can we take a second and just, I don't know if this is like, we can either talk about it or not. It's definitely an honorable mention, is the opening of the film showcases one of the greatest characters in the film. And that would be the late 80s Ford Taurus wagon that they're driving with the fake wood paneling bolted onto it, because to my recollection, the Ford Taurus, wagon or otherwise, never came with wood paneling. Certainly not that model. So I thought that was a brilliant addition, like bolting wood paneling onto a really stupid looking 80s car. It's just great.
Yeah, I'm not up on my Ford Taurus trims, but...
Really?
I am... It's likely that they, being that they bolted a bunch of shit onto a Crown Vic wagon or whatever it was for the original movie to turn it into the family truckster. It would be in character of the films to, have some bolt-on parts.
Just for the folks at home, that was the original family truckster was a Ford Country Squire.
Yeah, we went in great detail about this during our Raw Deal episode, I believe.
I think we did, yes.
Yes.
I'm ashamed. I don't know if I'm ashamed. Yeah, I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed to say that I watched like a 30-minute YouTube video of a dude making a model of the Griswold's car with the fucking tree on top, and just like watched him like micro painting it and kind of enjoyed it.
It's very soothing, isn't it?
It was very soothing. Yeah.
What is wrong with you?
You know how it's like YouTube is like the modern Wikipedia, where you end up in a Wikipedia hole sometimes, and you just like randomly Reddit click through to a fucking 30-minute video of like a model maker's hairy hands making a Griswold wagon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay, I can appreciate that. And then you look up and you're like, wait, what was I doing?
Yeah, it's like 2 a.m. You're like, I need to go to sleep, and you're like, why am I watching this still?
That's what I do. I kind of snap to it. I'm like, wait, what was I doing? Oh, right. I'm supposed to be working.
Yeah, exactly.
That is brilliant, man. Well done, Chad. Well done.
Hey, you got to air your dirty laundry in public, so here we go.
And you have succeeded. So, what else about this movie? Do you guys have anything else about this film?
I really loved Uncle Lewis and Aunt Bethany.
Oh, yeah.
It's like once they show up, the party gets started, They were so funny.
They really hammed up the crazy old people thing. I loved it.
Yeah.
She's pledging allegiance for Grace and stuff. Oh, so good.
Yeah, it's like as soon as they show up, it's like when the movie really gets started, in my opinion. All the best stuff happens there.
Yeah, she was, that was really funny. And she was, I mean, they were both like legitimately really old when they did that movie. She lived for another 10 years. That was
Mae Questel.
Mae Questel,
who evidently was Betty Boop.
Oh, no kidding.
That's correct. That's a nice little nugget right there. Yeah, this film is full of nuggets for a movie we weren't psyched to talk about, Ben.
It wasn't that I wasn't psyched to talk. I was less psyched to watch it, actually.
Yeah.
The only other thing I would like to add is the opening song is really good.
What is the opening song?
The like Christmas Vacation song.
Oh, the opening song, and it plays throughout the movie, and it rolls when the credits.
Yeah.
That was a mental note that I had, was that I really loved the opening titling sequence. It was just like one cool little animated mini movie in which Santa sort of is Clark. Like I thought that was really good. Like they really put a lot of energy into that, and I really appreciated that.
Yeah, totally. Which also segues. So Uncle Lewis and the animated sequence segues nicely to the 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon, which is the connecting movie between Jingle All the Way and Christmas Vacation is One Crazy Summer, which I have a really soft spot for because it's filmed on Nantucket, or at least partly on Nantucket. And Uncle Lewis is the old man, the old rich dude in One Crazy Summer, and Curtis Armstrong, also known as Booger in Revenge of the Nerds.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Plays Ack in One Crazy Summer, and he's in Jingle All the Way.
That's right. You're exactly right. Yeah, he plays the fuddy-duddy old guy, yeah.
So I wanted to thread the needle and just bring up One Crazy Summer because I love that movie, even though it is like such an obscure 80s film.
Oh, man, One Crazy Summer was a absolute staple of my 80s upbringing. There is no question about that.
Same.
Yeah, that and Better Off Dead.
Totally.
Exactly, and they were both made by Savage Steve Holland.
We should do One Crazy Summer. We should do both of those sometime.
I'd love that.
So shall we transition to the midichlorians?
The midichlorians.
The midichlorians. Let's transition. Do we want to rate Christmas Vacation?
I don't know.
Yeah, I've given this no thought.
That's all right. Why don't we come back to ratings at the end of Jingle?
I like that.
So transitioning over to Jingle All the Way, the 1996, now beloved and classic Christmas film starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, Rita Wilson, the late, amazing, great Phil Hartman, Sinbad. Where do we start?
With Sinbad, obviously.
Yeah, let's start with Sinbad.
Sinbad's going postal in this one.
Oh, wow, that was great. Going postal. He was just sort of crazy and kind of over the top, but I liked it. This movie it was really cheesy. There was, like I said in the first segment, it's really cheesy. There's a lot of great cheesy effects, and there's a lot of great cheesy lines. There's a lot of great cheesy slapstick comedy in this movie. And I got to give it to Arnold for really going for it, man. He really went with it, and he gave it his all. And I always appreciate that.
Yeah, I guess just Arnold giving it his all. Like, that is all of Arnold. There's not a hell of a lot more than that.
Fair enough.
I know that you guys are probably both just like, you man, but...
Yeah, pretty much. In my mind, that's what I'm saying, yeah.
I don't know. I guess, like, maybe, I don't know. For me, his best performance is probably Predator, but, you know, he didn't do like a Robin Williams or a Jim Carrey where they or like, you know, the opportunity to go super dramatic. Maybe him as an Italian mobster in Raw Deal was pretty dramatic, but.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I know what you're saying, but I always appreciated the effort that he put in. Like, he really did in a lot of the movies. Like, he may not have hit the mark, but he always gave it like 100. And I really appreciate that about him. And, you know, part of it's just because it's him and his accent and all that. But, like, you know, he's so kind of fish out of water by default in many ways. But he really is funny. And some of the funny movies he's done are funny. And this one's pretty funny. And then there's the parts that me and Ben made up that make it even funnier.
How many times did we watch Jingle All the Way that particular winter?
I don't know.
It might have only been once, but it feels like it had to have been more.
It might have been. I don't know. I want to know how you guys felt about Jake Lloyd in Star Wars and in this movie, and just sort of as an actor in general.
Yeah. I kind of didn't want his dad to catch him at the end of the movie.
It's so bad. It's terrible.
Oh, my God.
That is really morbid, dude. Well done.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm kind of inclined to agree with you, I think.
I think that I actually really liked him in this movie, and I definitely saw this first before I saw the Star Wars films. So I thought he played like a good little kid in this movie. I think the problem is that he sort of carried that over to the Star Wars movies, which came out just a few short years afterward.
To be more fair to Jake Lloyd, I don't have a problem with Jake Lloyd. I have a problem with the prequel trilogy. So I'm taking it out on poor Jake Lloyd.
Yeah. No, I actually liked him as Anakin. He brought this sort of levity to the part that I liked, because he's so dark in the rest. And I don't want to go down a cul-de-sac of Star Wars, but at any rate, I think I liked him. I liked him in Phantom Menace, and I liked him in this. I thought he was great. He played a great little kid who was like super stoked about a doll. And then he gets his dad as like the real thing at the end. Like, how cool is that?
It's pretty funny. It's like such a trope to have like the dad who's a complete fucking asshole, just fucking up left and right, totally fix everything and become the hero at the end, whose wife wants to bang him again because he puts on a rubber costume. Like, it's just such a perfect trope. I love it.
It is. And he definitely, I mean, Arnold is like a super neglectorino in this movie. Like, talk about the overworking, like, yeah, I'll be there. It just never shows up for anything.
And remember, you're my number one customer.
That was terrible. Come back to me. I can do better.
Oh, believe me, my Arnold's terrible.
I didn't think it was that bad.
No, I didn't either, actually. I thought it was better than mine, yeah.
This one kind of has a bit of a True Lies vibe where, it's not quite as sophisticated, if you can use such a word for True Lies, but...
Yes, that's a stretch for that, yeah.
It's like Arnie's a up who then, turns out is the hero and gets the wife, back on board the marriage, The whole Jamie Lee Curtis having fantasies for the spy thing with...
Totally.
With, what's his name?
Oh, Bill Paxton.
Bill Paxton, thank you.
God, he's so good in that. Yeah, I agree with you. And, one of the other great things about that is that he stumbles into it. Like, he's so bumbling in this movie, which I think is great. And then, like, he just sort of stumbles into the whole thing of, like, the actor didn't show up, who plays Turbo Man. And then it's like, they're just throwing all the stuff on him, and he gets a second chance to, like, save the day. I guess I'm kind of looking at it from a kid's perspective at the moment, which I probably shouldn't be doing, but I'm going to.
No, that's probably the way it should be done. Because, like, if you think about this movie from an adult's perspective, it's really passing off some horrible messages. If you look at it from a kid's perspective, I think it's a much more, I don't know, Last Action Hero. Like, it's a legit perspective for a child to have. Whereas, like, from the adult's perspective, it's like Phil Hartman, the creepy rapist dude, and then Arnold Schwarzenegger, the neglecting his old dad,
Yeah, exactly. Should we spend some time talking about Phil?
We should, dude. Rest in peace, Phil.
Seriously, man. That was so tragic. I was so upset when I found out that he had been killed by his wife.
Yeah, it's crazy.
He was absolutely brilliant. He was easily my favorite person on SNL during that run. And I just have loved so many of the films and TV shows that he's done. I don't know if a lot of people are, but I'm a huge fan of News Radio, which he was on for 5 years. Mm-hmm. Such a great show. And I really feel like underrated. It had just some fantastic actors in it, like Stephen Root and Maura Tierney.
Dave Foley.
And Joe Rogan and Andy Dick,
Joe Rogan. I don't remember him in that one.
Yeah, I don't think... I feel like a lot of people don't realize that Joe Rogan was an actor first, and he was on News Radio for the entire run. He played the office handyman fix-it guy, and then he was on Fear Factor for years and years and years. So Yeah, Joe Rogan was really funny on that, man.
That was a classic show, man. I love that show. Lost to the Ages.
Yeah, really, really good.
Phil Hartman throughout this movie is just great. But the entire the scene where Arnie calls in and he's helping his wife make cookies, that whole thing is just terrific.
That's pretty fucking good.
So good.
Oh, your wife's cookies.
God.
Oh, so good.
I know.
Yeah.
He's just, I think to bolster your comment, Ben, he just plays that like lecherous divorced dad who's moving in on literally every other woman at the same time, all the time, perfectly. He plays it so perfectly. You know, like when they're at the karate thing and he's filming it and all the women are coming up to him, Ted, can you come over later and help me fix my light bulb? You know, it's ridiculous.
Right. Yeah, he's a total heel, but on the surface, it looks like he's this, perfect single dad, like decorating the house and helping out all the, neighborhood women.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's the beauty of it.
Yeah. That's like, it seems like Arnold just sees through that, like right from the get-go.
Oh, absolutely. We'll throw a clip in here so the folks at home can enjoy that as well, because there's quite a few of them.
Liz, looks like you could use a little you time. Why don't you go upstairs, take a shower? I'll keep an eye on the boys, finish up with the cookies.
Merry Christmas, Langston residents.
Dad's got everything under control.
Oh, Howard, excuse me, but your wife's cookies are out of this world.
Oh, she won't worry. I mean, I'm here and... Look at you. It's Christmas Eve and you're slaving over a hot stove. Is this the mom of the year or what?
Listen for the
I know. Sugar cookies, bake 12 to 15 minutes till golden brown.
Who told you you can eat my cookies?
I think she's in the shower, Howard. Do you want me to go check?
No!
He finally gets it. He finally gets his in the end, but he's just one of those irritating people. He's just so phony, and everybody buys it but Arnold. And it's like one of those things where like nobody sees it but you, and you're just waiting for him to like get his comeuppance, and then he finally does when he gets puked on at the end, which is great.
I'm glad it was his wife that was kind of like you, bro, instead of Arnold saving the day there.
Yeah, totally,
definitely.
But I also like the earlier in the movie where Arnie steals the toy from under the tree. He's like, you can't bench press your way out of this one, buddy. It's just like, oh my god.
Oh my god. Just speaking of that scene, Arnie's entire encounter with the reindeer is just ridiculous.
Oh, so ridiculous.
I mean, it's slapstick probably taken way too far.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's yet another movie we can chalk up where Arnie punches a dumb animal.
Fair enough. So maybe earlier when I jumped the shark and said that I punched the shark, it was in keeping with the tradition. So it's probably a good thing in a way.
It wasn't. It was. Yeah.
So we were talking about Phil Hartman, the late great Phil Hartman, who was just a brilliant comedic actor. And we said for Christmas Vacation, we talked about how the supporting cast really buoyed that film up. And I think originally didn't really feel the same way about Jingle All the Way, but I mean, looking at the cast list, it's really got a lot of great actors in it. Like, of course, Curtis Armstrong, who played Booger from Revenge of the Nerds and One Crazy Summer. He's been in a ton of stuff. He's great. He played Ahmet in Ray with Jamie Foxx, which was really good. He was great in that too. He's a fantastic, underrated actor. Jim Belushi was in this. The actor that played, I can't remember his name off the top of my head for some reason, but the actor that played Mickey on Seinfeld was in this. He was in cahoots with Jim Belushi in the sort of the Santa scam ring. And then Richard Mall. I don't know if you guys remember Richard Mall. He was on Night Court. He was like a 7 foot tall, bald. He played Dementor in the TV show. Of Turbo Man. Yeah. So this movie actually did have a lot of firepower. Rita Wilson, who is Tom Hanks's wife, she's a fantastic actress.
His actual wife?
Yeah.
His actual wife.
No shit. That's all I'm going to contribute.
Can we talk about the Jim Belushi and the whole mall Santa scam ring thing and just how ridiculous that whole part was? That's That might be the highlight of the entire movie for me. It's just how ridiculous that whole thing is.
Yeah, really, really good.
Yeah, that was legit.
And how it sort of tropes, the action movie fight where Arnold's like holding his own through all these attacks, and then suddenly they break out like the one giant Santa.
Yeah, Zangief with the nail bat.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's right. It is from Escape from New York. Totally.
Yeah. So, yeah. Anyways, I thought that concept was funny of like the secret society of
Criminal Santas.
criminal Santas. Yeah, just
sort of lurking around the world, committing various nefarious crimes.
selling, cheap Spanish speaking knockoff Turbo Man.
Anyway, so a lot of great comedic actors in this movie, a lot of great actors that are either in the film or make appearances in the film. And so the cast really has quite a bit more firepower than I originally realized. And looking at the cast list, before we did this podcast and as we're doing it, there's a lot of great people in it. Martin Mull plays the DJ at the radio station. Martin Mull's been around forever. He's great. So really, really good. There are a few legitimately moving, touching moments. When Jake Lloyd gives Sinbad the doll is definitely one of them. Right before he says, "Who cares about the doll? I got the real thing at home," which is really funny and a really great way to kind of bust up the sappiness of that. Like, he really dials it in when he gives him the doll. And I was like, "Aww." And it's like, the other thing that was really funny, I mean, the movie's so cheesy, obviously, and it's great. There's a lot of super cheesy moments, like Arnold flying around just the whole sequence of him flying and like getting caught in the banner and all of that stuff was just
it's way over the top.
So over the top and so cheesily done, like the effects.
Yeah.
But then, when he finally lands, and it's like, I just love how nobody recognizes him except Myron,
Yeah, with his accent and everything.
With the accent and like, even the helmet, like the helmet has a very large, clear visor on it. And it's like, you can see his entire face. Like, how do you not know that it's Arnold, especially with the accent? But I gotta say, like, and this is another nod to Arnold really putting the effort in there. He really worked hard to like dial his accent back when he had the Turbo Man outfit on and the mic, because it's definitely it's not the same. It's more subtle. I mean, that I don't know. I noticed that, and I thought that was cool.
It's like the giveaway, like trying not to do the big giveaway.
Well, yeah, trying not to give it away to his son, whose dad is from Austria,
and his wife, who would know him quite well.
Right, exactly. I mean, he's gigantic. I thought one thing that was funny was, I don't know if it was in the, it was at the end, like when they're all cheering, like right before the credits roll, like a bunch of like the crowds people like pick Arnold up. And I was like, average people cannot pick up Arnold. Okay. Like that doesn't happen. Arnold picks up 10 average people. He can carry 10 average people. He's so powerful. But average people, they cannot pick up Arnold.
Totally fair.
Implausible. What else do we want to talk about Jingle All the Way, guys?
You know how he has the constant rivalry going on, not rivalry, but like he keeps like bumping into the motorcycle cop and
yeah.
bad things happen. So like I'm pretty sure the motorcycle cop is there as well, and he doesn't seem to recognize either.
Yeah, and then he like flips the visor up and the motorcycle cop's like, "Oh my God."
Right, yeah, he doesn't recognize him until he flips the visor up, exactly.
Yeah, and then he's just like, no big deal about the terrorist bomb thing earlier. Totally fine.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, how many like giant Austrian dudes are running around the city, like knocking your motorcycle over by accident and, like all of that shit. Like how, like there's no way he didn't recognize him.
No. Not to mention that Sinbad was also part of the terrorist bombing thing and then is wearing the giant brain costume. So like you would be pretty clear pretty quickly.
Right. His face was completely exposed.
Yeah, exactly. It really did kind of have that kind of Last Action Hero vibe where like it completely knew it was being ridiculous and it's kind of like becomes forgivable as a result.
Yeah. I mean, the final act there where Arnie dons the suit and the jetpack actually works and there's just all that ridiculous slapstick of him going around like a balloon deflating in a room. Like it's like it's cringeworthy how like over the top all that shit is. Like every time that sequence happens, I'm just like, oh, I can barely watch it.
Oh, totally.
It's like akin to watching an episode of like Curb Your Enthusiasm. You know, it's just like there's something just cringeworthy about how bad it is.
I was going the other direction with the cringeworthy and thinking like watching an episode of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers or some shit.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's definitely what it is, right?
I kind of feel like it kind of really captured the toy obsession of like kids our age when Reagan decriminalized advertising to kids. Like all of a sudden everyone wanted the same toy every year and the mayhem began.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, and the writer was, I mean, that was his inspiration was Power Rangers and Cabbage Patch Kids, because he saw his parents go down to a store super early in the morning to grab some particular toy. I think it was a Power Ranger toy for him or one of his brothers and sisters or something like that. So that was where the genesis of the story came from.
Yeah, totally. My memory of the Cabbage Patch mayhem was my sister getting revved up for this doll and then my parents having to be like, yeah, nah, when it was $900.
Oh my God.
I think that right there shows the pinnacle of the insanity of the whole Cabbage Patch thing and the toy thing. Like, it's just nuts.
Yeah.
But pre-internet purchasing, man, and that's kind of what it was like. It just kind of captures an interesting moment in history, I think.
Absolutely.
I remember a couple Christmases where I got the equivalent of Booster. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You're like, yep, here's the sidekick, bub.
I think nobody wanted it.
Yeah.
There you go.
Nobody wanted it. It was even on sale.
It was like your fake Jordans you were telling us about.
Yep.
Yeah, dude. I'm really sorry about that, by the way.
Happens to the best of us. I think I had fake pumps, so you're not alone.
I had a good childhood.
I did too, man. I had a knockoff bike. I didn't have like the awesome BMX bike that I wanted.
Yeah, no.
Like
I had a Huffy. Fucking kid up the street had a
I probably had a Huffy too, man.
I forget what the hell the big BMX bike was.
I know. What was the hot? What was the hot BMX bike, Bannon?
Mongoose?
He had a Mongoose, yeah.
Oh, that was it. The Mongoose, man.
It's funny though, because at the time, if you didn't have the toy, you were like just a loser or whatever. But now it's just like, you know what? My parents were probably way more focused on, being good parents and not worrying about a Mongoose bicycle.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, what the did I need a Mongoose for? It wasn't like I was, actually like racing BMX.
Going off sweet jumps.
I was just going off some sweet jumps, around the neighborhood. That's all.
Yeah. Ben, you were not training for Hell Track with Crew Jones.
No, I missed that
Exactly.
reference. What
Sorry.
What movie was that from?
It was a little too deep into the bottom of the pudding thing.
Is this another like Gleaming the Cube-esque reference?
Yeah. I was mining the cookie dough vein in the Ben and Jerry's ice cream a little too deep there. Sorry.
Ooh, that is the correct way to eat that ice cream. Hell Cube? What are you talking about?
No, Hell Track with Crew Jones from the 80s classic Rad, which is the coming of age story that started the coming. Remember we we chatted about that on one of the other episodes.
Yeah, we chatted about that before we invented our movie that we're going to make.
That's right. Exactly. Exactly. That was the impetus for us deciding that we needed to make the next great coming of age story.
Gleaming the turd with razor scooters.
Gleaming the turd with razor scooters. Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that is beautiful. So anyway, Rad was the sort of the genesis film of that. And then, there was, well, not really Aspen Extreme, but Aspen Extreme is sort of honorable mention. And then, you've got the rollerblade film Airborne.
I love how you're 90s. Like a subject matter expert in this particular genre of films.
Coming of age extreme sports movies.
When it comes to this particular subject matter, I am an expert. That's right. 80s marginal extreme sports movies. So you got BMX, rollerblading, and then you got, in the 2000s you had Grind, which was a skateboarding film.
Right. And then, as we mentioned, Gleaming the Cube.
And then Gleaming the Cube was sort of honorable mention because that was really more of a crime story. But yeah.
We're going to have to do a extreme sports show now.
Yeah. Did I mention BMX Bandits? That's an Australian film.
No, you didn't, man. No.
Okay, let me regale you. I love this. I love when this happens, man. And I'm like totally nerding out, and you guys are just like, wow. That's deep.
My favorite thing about this right now is that I would bet you a case of tab that you do not have a window open reading off of a list. You're pulling these out of the brain.
And where would you like me to give you my address so you can send the tab? Because I am not reading this off the computer. This is all from memory.
Straight off the dome.
Straight off the dome, man. So BMX Bandits was another 80s BMX movie. And this particular film was an Australian film starring a very young Nicole Kidman.
No kidding.
And you've got to see it. It's got all of the great like tropes of movies like that, including water balloons, to throw at the thugs that are always chasing them.
Of course.
And yeah, it's just great, man. You gotta check that out.
So to tie this thing up in a nice little bow, does that mean that we should get Gleaming the Turd or Razor Scooter Extreme Sports remake of this genre to take place at around Christmas time so it can become a new Christmas movie? We can give birth to the Extreme Sports Christmas genre?
Wow.
I think that's what needs to happen.
I like it.
It's almost like a genre mashup.
Yeah.
Yeah. That might be a really good idea. Jesus.
So let's put this segue on the half pipe.
Yeah, let's exactly, man. Let's put. Oh. Did I send you guys the Seagrams picture?
No.
Oh, hold on.
Stop the presses. Stop this segue for another segue.
Oh boy.
There it is.
I gotta grade it. Let's just not go back to the movie at all.
No, we are going to go back to the movie. I had to send you this picture. Okay, there it is.
Ooh, nice.
Oh.
See?
No golden.
I know.
Now with more.
With more
Jamaican me happy.
Right? Isn't that great?
This has to be the official drink of In This Episode Everybody Dies.
Of the show. Absolutely, man. I mean, look at the flavors. Jamaican me happy, strawberry daiquiri, pretty normal, calypso colada.
Ooh,
wow.
hey.
And then, of course, like every other product on the planet, or certainly in the U.S., wild berry.
That's good. Check your show art, everybody, because it is going to be there.
And I love how they're called Seagram's Escapes.
You know what you need to do now, Kev?
What? Come up with this is what the show a fake commercial for this?
Sure, but we're also going to need to print out stickers. Get stickers of Bruce Willis's head that you can slap on Seagram's whenever you see it.
Oh, wow, that's a great idea.
Like, can you imagine if you walked into a Costco and saw Seagram's with the giant Bruce Willis head on it? You would lose your shit.
If I saw that, I would literally lose my shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be just bonkers. Folks, this week's episode is brought to you by Seagram's Escapes. Don't forget to go swing on down to your local liquor mart and grab a case of it, featuring 4 exotic flavors. Jamaican me happy, strawberry daiquiri, calypso colada, and wild berries.
And don't worry, folks. We know 3 of the 4 flavors suck, so there's a 12-pack of Jamaican me happy just for you.
Oh my god, we got to get Paul Rudd in here to do the bad leprechaun sounding Jamaican accent that he does in I Love You Man.
Oh yeah, totally. Slap in the bass.
Slap in the bass, man.
Slap in the bass, man. So good. Anyway,
we're in a completely different state. We're not even in a cul-de-sac anymore.
I was gonna say we're in another dimension, man. Are we at all?
We are now in the universe where the Sinbad genie movie Shazam is actually what we're talking about.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
Soon to be followed by Space Jam. Well, look, like I propose that we take the opportunity that Seagram's has given us and just spend a couple minutes talking about the real best Christmas movie out there.
Which is what?
That would be Die Hard?
That would be Die Hard.
Oh, God, yes. Nakatomi Tower.
You know, this is kind of a humble brag, but a buddy of mine is a French tech dude, and he moved to LA recently, and it turns out he didn't know, but he works in Nakatomi Tower.
Are you serious?
Currently, right now, yeah. he posted on Instagram. He's like, evidently, I work in the building that Die Hard was filmed in, and it's like it was a photo of the building, so it's pretty legit.
Wow, that's pretty sweet.
What's different about French tech?
I don't know. It's way more cigarettes, maybe.
You really want to digress and talk about Die Hard? I mean,
I just want to acknowledge that it is the best Christmas movie there is.
Okay, I will go with you on this for this segment. Yes, it is a great Christmas movie.
It's just a great fucking movie.
It is just a great movie. Yes,
we'd be remiss to not mention it.
No, we would be remiss to not mention it. I mean, it's got, obviously Kurt Willis is in it with some of the
Barefoot Bruno
with some of the best. Man, I really like that, Ben. Barefoot Bruno. Nice one.
It's pretty good. That'd be a good Seagram's flavor.
Oh, wow. Oh, man.
What flavor would be? What flavor would Barefoot Bruno be?
Oh my God! Wow, you're really just gonna keep going there, huh? Okay.
It'd have to be a Bloody Mary flavored one, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
It might be better than I was thinking. It would have to be like a reiteration of the classic Seagram's Golden Wine Cooler.
Okay. No, I was kind of going more the like, if you drink a Barefoot Bruno Seagram's Bloody Mary flavored wine cooler, you have to smash the bottle afterwards. And so, like, by the end of the day, you got glass all over the floor and, you're at a beach. So,
and then it gets in your feet. Yeah. I like it. I like it a lot. So you got Seagram's Escapes featuring Jamaican Me Happy, Strawberry Daiquiri, Calypso Colada, and Barefoot Bruno.
For a limited time only.
And for a limited time only, one in every 100 cases of Seagram's Escapes, Barefoot Bruno. Now with more broken glass.
All right, Chad, you're gonna have to doctor up this photo of the Seagram's Escape.
All right, I'll see what I can do
in Photoshop, much like you did the Campbell's soup can, and add in
definitely
replace one of those flavors with Barefoot Bruno.
I love it, man. Barefoot Bruno, Seagram's wine coolers. That's just good. The commercial's going to make itself, too.
It's kind of a clamato kind of thing.
Clamato. Ugh. Wow, that is gross. Clam juice and tomato finally together at last. Right?
Oh, man.
I think it's important at this point to figure out if we want to continue talking about Jingle All the Way or Die Hard.
Yeah, let's circle back. I mean, I if you're still with us, folks, I love you and thank you. And but yeah, let's circle back.
Let's circle back and wrap up Jingle, and then let's rate Jingle and Christmas Vacation.
All right.
So we covered the cast. We covered Phil Hartman. We covered the cheesiness of the film. Arnold's effort, the whole thing. I also wanted to mention, because I think one of you guys mentioned it, and when we were talking about Christmas Vacation, is that you said that Chris Columbus backed out of that because he didn't want to work with Chevy. Is that right?
Yeah. I saw that on IMDb.
Didn't one of you say that? Yeah, right. So, Chris Columbus produced this movie.
Okay.
And he is an uncredited writer of this film as well. So it was him and Randy Kornfeld that wrote the film, and then he was uncredited. And yeah, so he was definitely a presence on the project, and it's definitely got a little kind of Chris Columbus stamp on it. He was always great at making movies like this, like sort of kid-centric movies. He's done some really great ones, like Mrs. Doubtfire. Duh.
Great movie. I don't know, man. You were committed. Okay.
This movie, has a 16% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, which I think is just...
I kind of agree.
Ridiculously low. I think it's got a lot of redeeming qualities. And the budget was $75 million, and it made $128. So it was a financial success.
Wow. That's impressive.
By a small margin, yeah. So I'm surprised that it's only 16%, because I know, people love this movie. How do you not? It's just so goofy.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of in the meh camp. I enjoyed it, bits of it, but
all right.
I think I just missed it when you guys, found it and fell in love with it. I feel like sometimes some movies, like unless you're with the right person or in the right mood watching it for the first time, like it just kind of passes you by.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah,
Like,
I get
this
that.
one passed me by. Like it's not a bad, like, well, actually it is a bad movie, but it's not like, I'm not like going to come on here and be like, these are the reasons why fuck this movie. Like it's fine.
Why we do every other week.
Yeah. Well, I figured I'd take a break. It's the holidays.
Nice. That's nice of you, dude. Spreading a little holiday cheer.
Yeah.
I love it.
Being charitable.
Yeah.
There you go, Ben. Exactly.
Well, I'm on the motorcycle with Kev here.
Yeah, I mean, Jarhigo and I are definitely on the bike together. I love this movie. And
What is it that strikes your fancies?
But I will admit, it's all about Arnold, man. I mean, it's all about Arnold, and it's all about the surrounding jokes. And it's like what Kevin and I were talking about earlier. The whole, Jamie, you're my special boy. You're full of midichlorians.
yeah, that really.
That stuff,
Yeah.
all of that stuff. Because I don't know if I liked the movie quite as much before all of that shit happened. But now there's just all of this, nostalgia attached to it. And it's like you said, it's like you see the movie at the right time with the right person, and it takes on a whole new sort of life. And that's...
Sure, with the right jokes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that and a bunch of beers, I mean, then Jarhigo and I, old Jarhigo and I get off and running, man. And the next thing you know, like, it's 3 hours straight of, Jamie, come on, you're full of midichlorians, go! So it happens, man. Midichlorians.
And you put the cookie down every once in a while, too.
Yeah, exactly. So it's probably nostalgia and my kinship with Jarhigo that makes me love this film. And I'm not ashamed to admit that.
Aw.
Aw.
Our holiday extravaganza got touching. How fitting.
Yeah, sure did. That's right. We have it all here on the podcast, folks. Comedy, hard facts, and touching moments.
And Seagram's golden wine coolers.
And Seagram's golden wine coolers. So let's rate this monster, and we'll rate Christmas Vacation, and then we'll leave so everybody can get back to their lives. And by everybody, I mean the listeners, not us. I'm gonna go first and say, oof, man. As a film, Jingle is just, I don't know. It's super cheesy. And then I'm sort of trying to think of it differently as a holiday film. Like as a holiday film, I think it rates higher. So like as a holiday movie, I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. As an actual film, way lower, like a 4. So that's how I'm going to rate these two. 7 as a holiday film, because I do believe that it is a now classic holiday film, and people enjoy watching it. I certainly do. And then Christmas Vacation, interesting. I really didn't care for it when it came out, like I said, because, different actors as Rusty and Audrey and blah, blah, blah. I was kind of getting like a little fatigued on the whole vacation thing back when this came out. But it has since become a classic Christmas movie that people really, really love. And great cast, had a lot of great things going on. So as a Christmas movie, I'll give it an 8. I think it has that power, even though I don't love it. It's up there. Everybody loves this film. People just love it. And as an actual film, I'll give it a 5.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I'll go next. I think similar to what you were saying, Kev, I agree with having kind of two rating systems with this one. So I've got Christmas Vacation already in my algorithm, and it as a movie, it's a 5.6, which is a good, 5s are good. It was previously a little bit too high up, but it was previously like marked as better than Caddyshack and Alien and stuff, which is, I was clearly smoking crack that day.
Yeah, definitely.
But I kind of feel like it's a tough one because, like, it's funny, it's entertaining, I like it, I have some nostalgia for it. But, no matter where I put it in the algorithm, it's going to come across something that's like, like I'm just looking at this here. I got like Dumb and Dumber or Wayne's World or Airplane that are 3 comedies that you'd have to kind of say probably at least on par, if not better,
Mm-hmm.
So it's a tough one, but it's in the mid 5s. I'll say it's a 5.5, actually. I'll dip it a little bit. But in terms of Christmas movies, it's great. Like, it's a 7, Jingle All the Way for me, I don't have the same nostalgia. So just for the sake of consistency, Jingle All the Way is officially better than Thor the Dark World and rates at 3.7.
Well, that's saying something.
Yeah, Thor the Dark World can eat a bag. But It's not off my list, which, if it's off my list, it's a horrible movie that no one should watch. But it's on my list, and it's above Thor Dark World.
There you go. All right. I accept your disdain for this movie.
I don't have disdain for it. It doesn't have the same spot for me. That's all.
Fair enough. And finally, over to Jarhigo.
All right. So I don't know if I'm going to bother with the Christmas movie rating here because I feel like...
That's fine.
I feel like we're going to be charitable towards Christmas movies, period. You know, it's kind of...
I agree.
There's a lot of nostalgia involved, and a lot of them aren't necessarily fantastic films, but they have a special place for us. So I'm just going to skip that. And I'm gonna go with comparing these movies to other movies in the genre. So, or other movies in the series, rather. In the case of Christmas Vacation, comparing it to European Vacation and the original Vacation movie, this is my least favorite of those three. It just doesn't resonate with me the same way that those other two movies do, even though they're kind of similar humor and similar cast and et cetera, et cetera. So let's see. I'm gonna give Christmas Vacation. I mean, I did end up enjoying it, and the third act really heats up in this film. Like it really does. It really picks up steam. It really gets just over the top funny. I'm gonna give it 3 out of 5 non-caloric, lubed up silver platter sleds for Christmas Vacation.
Fuck yeah.
Nice.
That's awesome.
I thought you were going to go, Ben, with some sort of like bowls of cereal with the cereal varnish. Because we didn't mention this in the episode, but like that was definitely one of my favorite things about the movie. Was just like the products that he works on are just so absurd, and the cereal varnish was just the tip of the top, man.
That's good stuff. And Jingle, what was your thoughts on Jingle?
So Jingle, going versus other Arnie movies, I'm not really sure where to put this one. I want to put it slightly back from the middle in terms of Arnie films. So we might need to go up to a 10 rating here. So I'm going to say somewhere around 5 out of 10 barely smoked, crushed out stogies for this particular film.
That's amazing.
I'm not sure if that's right, but I'm pretty sure that was the metric by which I would be measuring all Arnold movies. So
yes, that is. Yeah,
it is okay.
It is officially the metric.
It's close. It's close. That's it.
Okay, I just looked it up, man, because I had to know what it was called. It's a non-nutritive cereal varnish, and that is my favorite part of that movie.
I love it.
So we hope all of you folks at home enjoyed this holiday offering from In This Episode, Everybody Dies. We certainly enjoyed joining you for this holiday season. Thanks so much for tuning in, folks. So long.
Later, boys.
And remember, you're my number one customer.
Yes, Benny.
That's going to wrap up this week's episode, folks. Next week, we're going to be talking about Star Wars. You can find the show notes for today's episode in your podcast app of choice or at our website, ebd.fm/episodes/34. You can ask us questions using the Twitter hashtag AskEBD. You can find me at Molverine on Twitter. That's MOHLVERINE. Chad is at Chad Normal on Twitter, and Ben is at Jarhigo on Twitter. That's right, folks. JARHEEGO. I'd like to take a minute and thank everybody so much for tuning into the show and to wish everybody a very happy holiday season. And if you'd like to support the show, there are 2 great ways you can do it. The first is by reviewing and rating us on iTunes or wherever you get your podcast Christmas cookies.
Put that cookie down!
Those are my cookies! You can also tell someone to check out the show. Word of mouth is incredibly powerful and incredibly effective. Thanks so much for tuning in, and have a great holiday season. I gotta get a towel.